I'm Alex Hayden, welcoming you to the Irish Hills of Michigan for the Firekeepers Casino 400. This close to Motor City, this race is a huge priority for all the manufacturers, especially Ford and Chevrolet. This wide track allows for multi-groove racing, but horsepower and drafting are always key. Let's head trackside where the drivers and teams are getting ready. It's time for the command of fire engines for the Firekeepers Casino 400.
There's the mic again. I swear I'm having issues with the mic. Not issues with the mic. It's my own fault. What I'm doing is I'm muting it so that way it's not echoing when the actual intro is going on. And then I forget to unmute myself. So I'm just talking on mute the whole time. So my mic does work. Thanks. I'm not in the chat right away either. So that's why it's so delayed. Oh my gosh. All right. Well, welcome ladies and gentlemen. NASCAR 22. I was talking for like 3 minutes and literally you guys couldn't hear a damn thing I was saying. Oh my gosh. All right, well, we're at Michigan. We're starting last. No practice, no qualifying. Fourth to last race of the regular season. Going to fly through this here quickly. We have a 21-point lead over Christopher Bell for the regular season championship as of right now with 4 races to go. This is our first trip to Michigan on NASCAR 22. We had a good race at Auto Club on the other 2-mile racetrack earlier this season, so I kind of have somewhat high hopes for this one today. Plus, on the NASCAR 21 side of things before the season expansion, the race at Michigan was probably one of the better ones that we had on NASCAR 21. So I do have high hopes for this race today. Denny Hamlin on the pole. As you look at the point standings at the top of the screen, he is in the playoffs as of right now, not by much. It's going to be interesting to see if he can hang on to that spot, maybe get a win, lock himself in. We still are at 8 different drivers, locked into the playoffs, virtue of wins, so still 8 spots still to be locked up in these final 4 races. We will have multiple drivers that will have to point their way in. Quickly, a rundown of the top 10 for the starting lineup because I did not practice or qualify for today's race. It's just a random starting order, so no clue if these guys actually starting towards the front are even going to be anywhere close to competitive. We'll have to find out. Denny Hamlin on the pole. Garrett Smithley outside of the front row in second. Ryan Blaney, Tyler Reddick in row 2. Blaney, the defending winner at Michigan in 2021. Tyler Reddick still looking for his first career win. He is catching up to Blaney as far as trying to be the highest driver on points coming in, but still very comfortably above the cutoff line. Not many drivers can say that. William Byron does have 1 win early in the season. He is still in the hunt for the regular season championship as well. He's over 1 race worth of points out, but if Christopher Bell and Kevin Harvick can have an off day here in these closing races and Byron gets good finishes together, he can try to capitalize and take that regular season championship crown away. Speaking of Christopher Bell, he's on the outside of row number 3, and he is going to be in great position to get stage points early on, especially with some backmarker cars starting in the top 10 as well. Should be able to pass a couple cars, maybe pull away from some of them behind him as well. Look out for Christopher Bell today. He's got to have a shot to win potentially his 4th race of the season already, and we need to stay within close proximity because we still have one more road course race and a super speedway at Daytona left. Even though I have a 21-point lead right now, the odds are not my favor, I will say that much. Josh Bilicki and Joey Logano will be in row 4. Logano, a former Michigan winner, trying to go for his 4th win of the season as well. He's not as consistent this year. I think he's only got 8 top 10 finishes, but he has won a few races, so he's looking for more playoff points. Josh Bilicki on the inside of him again. Todd Gilliland, Martin Truex Jr. will round out the top 10 in row 5. Gilliland probably going to slide back once we get this thing started. Truex, we'll have to see. He is pretty good on points for most of the year. He's actually, I believe, 5th in the regular season standings, but then also has a win in recent races that has locked him into the playoffs as well. Alright, so again, we will be starting deep in the field. Stability help will be on. No traction control, though, just stability help. The Hungry One, Derek Boots, Sandman, Billy Kramer, X370X, Bentley Potts, Michael Turner, and others, welcome into the stream. Here we go. 200 laps, 400 miles, Michigan International Speedway, 45 laps at stage 1. The green flag is in the air and we're underway at MIS. Drafting is going to be huge in this race today, especially on the straightaways. We're on this very fast racetrack. Likely going to see speeds of over 200 miles per hour in the draft today as well. We were seeing that at Pocono a couple races ago going into turn 1. I'm sure we'll see that today at Michigan also. Big checkup going into turn 3 there. Harvick checked up as much as he could and still made contact with the back of the 62. Wasn't expecting that. Side drafted the 27 car initially, then hops in line behind. The outside's going to want to... The outside lane is going to be the fastest on the straightaways. It's going to be interesting, though, how my car is going to handle on the top with the stability help. And hopefully we don't get any cautions while we're at the back right now. Remember you saying something about the game crashing on you a couple times. Luckily, I've only had that issue once, and that was in the 600. Having to brake getting into turn 3 when I'm trying to run the outside. I might have to just try to get to the bottom. Hope for the best there. We are on expert difficulty. And the speed in the draft is definitely up. Look at Harvick's speedometer going into turn 1. 205 miles an hour. A lot better down on the bottom lane, at least for right now. But problem is, if he doesn't complete a pass, it's going to be tough. He needs to get right back to the outside as quickly as he can. Kaz Gralla losing the draft at the tail end of the field right now. Harvick down on the inside, going to take it 3 wide underneath Reese Hesmans and Noah Gragson going into turns 1 and 2. But he's going to slide all the way up to make the pass on Greg Biffle at least. He was just in front of him getting into the corner initially. Harvick going to give a push to the 62. Harvick on the outside lane getting into 1 and 2 this time. Made 1 pass for position. Looking low on Hesmans. Into turn 3. Try not to use any brake that time and just kind of rolling out of the gas. Keep the momentum up as much as possible. And off the exit of turn number 4. Harvick back into the outside as he cleared Hesmans at least. Up to 36. It's going to be tough to get in position for stage points. I'd have to imagine we're going to see pit stops at some point in stage 1. Contact with the back of Cole Custer. Surfer Express, thanks for tuning in. Deep dive going into turns 3 and 4. An aggressive slide job maneuver from Harvick to try to get by BJ McLeod. He cleared him. McLeod back to the inside. It's going to slow each other up with a little bit of side drafting going on the front stretch. Harvick getting a push from behind now from Hesmans. And McLeod pulls up right in front of the 27 car. They might have stalled each other out just a little too much, though, as Harvick may be in danger of losing these cars in front of him, although they're side by side at the tail end of the pack. Cindric, one of those drivers, and Cindric's just a couple points above the cutoff line coming into this race. I think 9 points above the cutoff line right now, and he's in 15th. Kyle Busch is only 3 points ahead of Almirola. McDowell, I believe, is he's in 19th in points, so he's got 3 drivers to try to pass to get in, but I think he's only 13 back. So it is very tight at the tail end. Hamlin, who's 14th in points, I think he's only in by 9 points, 11 points. I think it's 11 if I do my math correctly. So it is a very tight bubble battle right now. And even Kurt Busch, who's, 13th in points right now? He's maybe 30 to the good with 4 races. That could be lost. A couple cars at the very front of the field starting to pull away. As if the draft is not really affecting them too much. Harvick just fell a little bit too far behind the pack of cars in front of him that he doesn't have enough help from behind because he's also pulling Hezemans and company out of his rear view, which we don't actually have a rear view mirror, but metaphorically speaking, and the fact that we should have a rear view. Gained quite a bit through turns 1 and 2 that time, just desperately trying to get into the draft, right behind Ty Dillon. Back straightaway. You can see without the drafting help, he's not quite able to get, well, he got to 200 that time into 3. He was finally able to catch the draft. Before we got trouble! My goodness! I don't know how Eric Almirola saved that race car. His teammate Cole Custer got into him off the exit of turn 4. Almirola got sideways. Harvick down to the apron trying to get away from a Cindric side draft. They stacked each other up big time and allowed Harvick to get by Ty Dillon to the inside of the 2. He'll pass him. Has to lift to keep it off the back of the 41 of Custer. Into the outside lane, he's going to go behind the 99 of Suarez, who's really free-falling in points. He was in the top 16 in the first half of the regular season, but now he's outside the top 20 in points. And not looking good today either. Harvick really tight going into the... What happened? Why is my car that tight? Felt like my analog stick wasn't working there for a second. That was strange. Felt like it was just shoving me into the 99. There was nobody in front like we were in dirty air, so I don't understand why the car did that all of a sudden. That just stalled these guys out now, and you can see Almirola was able to keep up with the pack in front. Suarez trying to get back around Custer. Should be able to clear him off turn 4. Definitely have to loosen this car up. Probably going to take a round and a half of wedge out of the car. The first adjustment that will be made. Harvick underneath Cole Custer, but he's not going to be able to clear him. Oh, man. Went to slide back up in line, and Cindric had a huge head of steam, and they almost made contact. Harvick nearly turned himself in the middle of the straightaway off the front bumper of the 2. Now he's clear of the 2 car. Harvick's car did not want to turn in turn 1 that time either. Yeah, I'm just automatically assuming that we're going to all have to pit at some point in stage 1. Honestly, when I have clean air and not a huge run in the draft, the car sticks very well in the corners. But if I have too big of a run, it's really difficult to get the car to turn on entry. Once I get to the middle of the corner, I'm fine, but initial turn in is rough at times. Wasn't terrible there. Actually pretty bearable that time. Harvick to push Custer. On the back straightaway. Harvick with having Custer underneath him. Knew the outside lane wasn't going to be very well for him, knowing how tight his car is, and Cindric was able to make a pass for 33rd. And we're going to have to pit during the stage break, especially if we short pit. Good thing we're caution-free so far. Now, Pocono, we only had one crash per incident, one caution per incident in that race. I'm hoping it's kind of similar in this one. I think it was at the end of stage 1. Car's just way too tight. Honestly, I'm going to take 2 rounds of wedge. Completely out of the car when we make that first stop. Cinder got to the inside of Custer, and you can just see when cars are side by side how much they really hold each other up at Michigan. Allows Harvick to get underneath the 2, barely. Might be able to clear him, he does. But Custer's on the outside as well. Custer just door bangs Harvick right off the exit of the corner. Harvick still can't clear. Taking the short way around that time. Cinder practically pushing the 41. I mean, it rotates in the middle pretty well. Harvick still can't clear. More cars start to form in the outside, though, so Harvick may be in trouble here. Contact. Harvick's car didn't want to turn that time either. Cindric making a pass. Same goes for Ty Dillon. Harvick struggling in the early going. 29 laps to go, stage 1. I'm definitely splitting this in half. We're going to go to lap 22, and then we're going to pit. Splitting the stage in half. It's going to be really close for these guys on fuel. I think they're going to pit with about probably anywhere between 5 to 8 laps to go in the stage. Maybe even less than that. Harvick to the inside of Ty Dillon. Going to get a little side draft. Contact. Dillon came off the wall early. Allowed for Dillon to stay in front of Harvick. That was a cheap way of doing it. He cut his momentum off so much that BJ McLeod may get to the inside of the 4 now. He does, and he runs right into the side of him. Harvick has to lift to keep it off the wall. Now Biffle runs into him. I mean, these guys just give you no room. I don't know how I didn't hit the wall. Both the 78 and the 44 hit me. That's ridiculous. Especially at this fast of a track like Michigan. Now I'm in the wall because I'm pushing too hard, trying to get back by Biffle. It's just ridiculous. I was perfectly fine. So I was getting hit. Well, I wouldn't say it was perfectly fine. We were still outside the top 30, but... a few more laps. I mean, Harvick has to short pit her. He's going to end up a lap down before the end of stage 1. His only real shot at stage points is to do this, too. Squeezes by Larice Hesmans through 1 and 2. Big slide job there for Harvick. And he'll keep the 27 car behind him off the exit of the corner. Didn't slide too far up the track too early, at least. He was fine until he got right up behind Biffle. Then the car got really tight in the dirty air again. Definitely close enough to draft behind him on the front stretch. 2 more completed laps for Harvick, then he'll pit. Going to be just short on fuel to make it to the end. He'll We're running the 4 really tight. Down on the bottom, Harvick gonna clear Biffle off turn 2 with a clean pass. Despite how tight it was in the middle of the corner, just trying to keep it off the 44. Harvick drives it in deep now on BJ McLeod into turns 3 and 4. It clears the 78 car. Now we're starting to get going. When you can clear them in the middle of the corner, it's fine, but if you can't clear them in the center, and you get to the exit and you're underneath another car, you just get freight trained. It doesn't help there's not a whole lot of cars in the pack either. I mean, we'd probably lose more spots if there was more cars in the pack. But knowing Christopher Bell qualified 6th for today's race, it scares me. Got to capitalize on pit strategy in this one if Harvick's going to want to have a shot to win. Definitely going to have to try to adjust the car to his liking as well. Again, definitely going to make a wedge adjustment. Or is very, very tight the early going of this race. Pulling away from BJ McLeod again. Harvick will pit this time by. When he comes out of the pits, we'll have 22 laps to go in stage 1. We're at lap 23 right now, which means we have 22 completed, so we're halfway through stage 1. Still caution-free. Gotta hope we stay caution-free until everybody cycles through. So Harvick can cycle back onto the lead lap. Should gain positions, then we'll have to play defense for the last couple laps of the stage. So Harvick will be on his way to pit road. Gotta make sure he gets down without speeding. I think it's 45. It's, we'll find out when we leave our box. 4 tires of fuel for Kevin Harvick. Well, actually, 2 rounds of wedge also coming out of the car, so definitely a major adjustment made during this first stop. Gotta pass cars quickly on these fresh tires. $55 miles an hour, so I could go a little faster on entry then. I thought it was 55, but I just wanted to play it safe just in case. Trying not to spin out as we're getting up to speed now. And you just gotta hope that the wedge adjustment's gonna be good for Harvick. By the way, this is like the first race we've had in a while where I don't have to shift at all. Oh, by the way, Christopher Bell is leading right now. Of all positions he could be running in, he is the race leader. Ryan Blaney in second right behind him. That's scary, I'm not going to lie. No Torres, thanks for tuning in. Hopefully the 2 rounds of wedge gonna help Kevin Harvick. I'm not gonna lie, the car still feels super tight. That wasn't even in the draft. Where will Kevin Harvick cycle and where will he finish at the end of the stage? I'm really hoping the field gets very spaced apart once they all pit, so maybe easier to block, because the bigger the pack, the bigger the runs are going to be to try to get around Harvick, especially knowing they're going to have much fresher tires by the time we get to that point in the stage. Yeah, this car is still... it didn't even feel like the adjustments actually took place. Took 2 rounds of wedge out of it, and it still feels just as bad as it was. Trying to back up the corners a little more, I guess. William Byron in the top 10 right now as well, sitting in 7th, right where he started. I think he started in row 4. Balicki was 7th. He was probably an 8th. Gamer 66, thanks for tuning in. The car's so tight. There was so much room on the bottom underneath Gregson, and the car just would not turn. A lot of side drafting going on the front stretch between BJ McLeod, Kaz, Growler. Harvick going to go 3 wide to the bottom. He's hoping his car turns this time, and he's going to be able to get it. Well, it does not turn. Never mind. It just goes straight up the hill. Luckily, he was on fresher tires, was able to clear everybody by the time he got to the exit of turn 2. I don't think I'm going to get quite as much time as I would have hoped on these fresher tires, just knowing how tight the car still is. I had high hopes for Michigan. We had a fun track on this game. It is amazing how tight the car is. With stability. I mean, it'd probably be unbearably loose without stability. And DVDs of Michigan races from 2007. That's pretty cool. Come on, look at it. I think it's worse. I think the car is worse now than it was before, because in clean air it was bearable. It doesn't matter. How do you make a wedge adjustment and the car gets worse? You try to make it looser by taking 2 rounds of wedge out of the car, and it literally is tighter than it was before. Custer nearly got in the back of Ty Dillon there. Harvick's got a massive run. He's going to blow by these guys. Went into turn 3. Just going to have to start using more brakes. I mean, stupid. Hate this game. Man. We're in a dire situation here to try to win this regular season championship. We need to have a good day, and it is not a good race car for Kevin Harvick in the early going. At least there's some sort of a tire advantage. Kind of evens out on straightaways because he doesn't have any drafting help on the inside of the 99 of Daniel Suarez. Actually got the car to turn that time. Rest of the field probably going to pit pretty close to about 10 laps from now. Garrett Smithley and Josh Balicki have fallen way outside the top 10 after starting there. Kind of figured it was too good to be true for him. I wonder how far up through the field we have to get to cycle into the lead somehow. That'd be an absolute miracle if I did. I mean, we're pitting like 20 laps before him, so it's not impossible, I guess. But extra drafting help there behind Corey LaJoy, pulling to the bottom. Got to clear him. Trying to widen his entry into turns 1 and 2 as well, knowing how tight the car is. See it going up the track, just constantly out of the gas for so long. Somehow kept it off the wall. I don't even know how I did, honestly. I was out of the gas like 3 separate times in the middle of the corner, and every time I'd get back in, it would just keep pushing. It's weird because it was tight on entry before, and now it's tight middle off, and it rolls in fine. But I just hit a certain point in the middle of the corner where it just wants to go to the wall. Harvick going down to the apron. There's grip there, surprisingly. Not usually the case at Michigan. Probably more grip there than on the actual racing groove. It's only because I have stability. If I didn't have stability, I'd probably spin out going down there. That's why I'm so tight, though, too. Maybe I didn't need it. I didn't practice or qualify for the race, so maybe I didn't even need stability. Because I didn't need stability at Auto Club, and that was a rougher track than this. Similar shape. Both 2-mile tracks, too. 15th place car of Kurt Busch is the next one in front of Harvick yet. Leaders haven't pit. 10 laps to go, stage 1. Kyle Busch was going to take him 3 wide. Going into turns 3 and 4 wasn't quite the case. Noticing the left side's wearing out a bit more, though. Harvick does go down to the apron in the corners. Oh, contact between Chastain and Busch. Off the exit of turn 2. Harvick to the bottom, 3 wide. Still 3 under Busch. Haley should clear Briscoe in the middle of 3 and 4, and does. And we've got cars pitting off turn 4 inside the top 10. Not everybody, but most of them on their way in with about 9 laps to go in the stage. So we'll see next time by where exactly Kevin Harvick is going to cycle on those guys. Still cars on the racetrack. Top 4 have to pit yet, plus about 5 or 6 cars behind him in the top 10 still have to pit. I'm sure a lot of the back markers may have stayed out there as well. Now the top 4 are in. Harvick going to be back on the lead lap in case we get a caution. I think he was in 35th when he first pitted. Alex Bowman, Tyler Reddick, who were in the top 10. Harvick is going to get in front of both of them. Barely going to clear Reddick off the exit of turn 2. Oh man, they're slowing way up. Kyle Busch stayed out another lap, so he leads for the first time. Nobody's going to be able to make it to the end of the stage on fuel. They'll stay out during the stage. Harvick will be able to pit for 4 tires and fuel, and he'll have a little less than 10 lap pressure tires, but that'll make a difference. Caution is out, and Harvick is going to be a lap down. That is unbelievable. Harvick is going to be a lap down because he was just behind the start-finish line. There were still cars that hadn't pit yet. Even though he was on the lead lap by technicality, he was not across the start-finish line, so the scoring glitch is going to lap Harvick. Caution's out for the first time today. This will not end the stage. I'm going to have to stay out and then pit during the stage break. Hoping I can get a lap back here for the end of the stage. Man, that's a tough break. I think there's some cars that are 2 laps down that are behind Harvick, too. Green flag back in the air as we have just 2 laps to go at stage 1. A little green-white checker to the end of the stage. Maybe there were some guys that stayed out. Who knows? Good restart for Kevin Harvick. Just got to get to the outside as he clears Kyle Busch. He passed about 5 cars in turns 1 and 2. But he's not going to be able to get all the way up to the leaders. Sends it in on Kurt Busch into 3 and 4. Still in 27th. Harvick is a lap down at the end of stage 1, unfortunately, there. That was the worst thing that could have happened. Stage is over, actually. It was just a 1-lap shootout because Harvick was a lap down. Didn't really factor that in there. So that is going to end stage 1. William Byron has won another stage. And look at the running order. We got some underdogs up there now with the caution lapping quite a few cars. I'm not sure how many exactly are a lap down and who's all on the lead lap. But William Byron going to win stage 1 tonight. And that will be Byron's 4th stage win of the season. I mean, maybe he can get back into the regular season title picture. Give him 9 playoff points on the year so far. We'll get more for regular season standings as well. So now we're gonna pit during the stage break. We're only gonna have like 2-lap pressure tires here. That stinks. I mean, if we would have just crossed the start finish line, we would have been on the lead lap. That's how close we were. We were like not even 2 seconds away from being on the lead lap when that caution came out. But now we're going to have to pit. No adjustments. You know what? Well, yeah, the adjustments don't really work when you pit under caution, so no adjustments this time. 4 tires of fuel for Kevin Harvick. We're going to ride around under caution for a little bit, it looks like, too. Yeah, so I didn't even take a screenshot of the points there. Well, I guess I'll have to get that after the stream. I didn't go through the full stage results either, so I'll do that real quick. So William Byron first, Josh Bilicki second, third, I believe, Joey Logano. Fourth place, Ricky Stenhouse Jr., Eric Almirola in fifth. Sixth place was Alex Bowman. Seventh place was Eric Jones. Eighth place was Michael McDowell, Justin Haley in ninth, and Brad Keselowski rounds out the top 10. Actually, Almirola was 11th. That might have been Custer in fifth. OBS is acting really slow. I'm very sorry for that. There's a second straight day that's happened. I'll try to fix it real quick. Means we're under caution anyway. I don't know. It's fine now. Let me know in the chat if it's lagging for you guys. I don't know how long we're going to ride around for. But we're just kind of riding around at 130 miles an hour. Under caution. Laps are not counting. So this is interesting. It's lagging. Yeah, OBS was doing that to me last night too. It usually doesn't do it when I'm streaming on the games though. Now, I don't even know. Saying encoding is overloaded. Turning down video settings disappeared. Faster encoding preset. I don't know how to do that. Settings. Are we ever going to go back to green, by the way? Oh, that's nice. By the way, I don't know if we're going to get back to racing. It's saying my current lap is almost 5 minutes right now. I have no control over the car. Usually it doesn't go on this long. About to come to a stop randomly. I don't know what's going on here. Now we're getting up to speed. Nope, right back to 130. That was strange. Oh, hang on. We might be going back to racing now. Hang on. There we go. That took forever. I need to figure out the buffering, though. Yeah, I hope the game doesn't crash on me either. This is that's not good, though. Okay, so the stream's going to be stopped for a quick second. I'll try to restart my laptop and then get everything back running again. Alright, I think we're back. Maybe to where we should be? Although, I don't know. It looks like it's still buffering. Alright, I think we have it fixed now. We're going to get on with stage 2. And just let me know in the chat if it starts to buffer for anybody. And if somebody does mention it, like lagging or buffering, we'll try to make sure it's a couple people that are having that issue, because if it's just one person, it might be on them. Not on me. But definitely let me know if you have any more buffering. Hopefully we've gotten it fixed now. Green flag is going to be the air. Stage 2 is underway. I don't know who that was that spun the tires off the start. I think it was Austin Dillon. But he did not take off initially there. So Kevin Harvick a lap down at the end of stage 1. He just pitted during the stage break. This completely blocks the 21. Pearson Burton. So Kevin Harvick a lap down. Contact. He has just spun. Brad Keselowski. That's going to bring out a caution. Well, we're not going to lose an extra lap there, but caution flag is out. Harvick's car is just way too tight despite the wedge adjustment change to try to help loosen it up. It has not helped it at all. Had to let the field go there because he brought out that caution. It was just our third yellow of the race. We had a caution right at the end of stage 1, which led us to a one-lap green-white checker. And then the stage break, and then that caution on the first lap of stage 2. So we've had 3 cautions back-to-back-to-back all of a sudden. But this is problematic for Kevin Harvick. 75 laps in the second stage. He's in 29th right now. Everybody from 30th on back is 2 laps down. But I think there's only a couple positions really to be had for him while being 1 lap down. Unfortunately, not on the lead lap, though, at the end of that stage. Even though he was on the lead lap when the caution came out, there was a scoring glitch, which had trapped Harvick a lap down, unfortunately. Everybody's going to have to pit at least once, maybe twice in this second stage. It'll be interesting. don't know what the strategy is going to be in this stage, though, to try to make up a full lap. Because we run the risk of short pitting of that caution happening again, and then we're more than one lap down. Harvick with no drafting help right now after having to go to the back after bringing out that caution for spinning Keselowski. Just how tight this 4-car is. It is just even worse than what it was. It's only going to get worse over the course of the long run. He's in the wall. He didn't want to lift there. Luckily, he didn't blow a tire. This is just brutal. I don't think I've had a car this tight on this game yet. And I've had some really tight race cars, but no matter how much I loosen it up, it is just epically tight. Large single file line pretty much through the entire field. Chase Elliott in 31st. He's a couple laps down. Harvick was 27th at the end of the first stage, being one lap down. Big run through turns 1 and 2 this time as he closes in close enough behind his teammate Cole Custer to at least have some drafting help on the back straightaway. Up the speed going into turn 3 as a result. Can't get the car to turn though. Did a great job keeping it off the 41, but how much he was on the brakes trying to keep it off of him at the same time. We've got one car pitting. Very early to have that happen. Not sure who that was. Might have been Kaz Gralla. Just pitted. Packs starting to separate from each other just a little bit. Custer in the wall off turn 2. Stays in front of Harvick though. It's weird. Sometimes the car turns perfectly fine like it did there, and sometimes it doesn't. Really just pure luck if it does turn, and Harvick just turned Greg Biffle into the grass off the exit of turn 4. Might not get a caution for that. If we do, he's past the start-finish line. He just got too tight off the exit of the corner again. Looked like it was going to grip up, and then it just didn't. And just spun the 28 car all the way down the racetrack. Or the 44, rather. The 28th place car down the track. Oh my gosh, Ty Dillon just about came to a stop right in front of Kevin Harvick. And Harvick barely missed him on the outside between Dillon's car and the wall. I hate how tight this car is. This is ridiculous. And where'd I get the damage from? Was that from the 44? I didn't even hit him that hard. I hooked him, and it looks like we just smashed right into him. That's probably going to hurt the handling even more, too. I just don't understand why the car is this tight. I accidentally downshifted. I didn't mean to do that. I'm going to take 2 more rounds of wedge out of the car. Is that going to make it even worse? I mean, this is terrible. How do we get worse taking wedge out of it? It doesn't make any sense. I'm scared to go up on the wedge because I'm thinking that that's just going to make it... I mean, you would imagine make it even worse. It's weird, though, because, like, right there, perfectly fine. I didn't feel like I did anything different. But then sometimes I go into the corner, and it just wants to go straight to the wall. Like right here. Back it down to 163 miles an hour. Tyler Hollis, thanks for tuning in. Noticing turns 3 and 4 is where I'm having more troubles than 1 and 2. But I still have my problems in 1 and 2 from time to time. Appreciate that comment, by the way, Tyler. This is just... I was expecting a better race, honestly. This car is garbage. We might... I mean, we're... I think it's safe to say we're probably going to lose the regular season points lead. Although I don't know if Christopher Bell ended up going a lap down. So I'm not entirely sure with that. Ty Dillon out of nowhere has just caught us. We're so slow right now. I'm pitting in a couple laps. We're going to have to make this a 2-stop stage. I don't know if everybody's going to pit once or twice themselves. I might go another lap down, but we don't have anything to lose at this point. I mean, it's our only chance of really trying to get back on the lead lap for the final stage. Communist Legos, thanks for tuning in. It just doesn't turn. It was turning on entry fine, 156 miles an hour. We're just getting slower every single lap. I'm not in dirty air. Even before the damage, it was this bad. I pitted during the stage break, and we had a caution. So I only have like 8 or 9 laps on my tires. Maybe a little more than that. Maybe it's closer to like 10 or 12, 13 laps, but still. Honestly, the car isn't that bad in turns 1 and 2, but 3 and 4 is unbearably tight. I don't know why it's so different. Both ends of the track. No. Even though these cars have track bar adjusters that you can adjust it during the course of an actual green flag run, this game does not allow you to make the track bar adjustment both under caution and during green flag conditions. Yet they praised the game for how realistic it was supposed to be. It was very realistic. Very realistic to be plowing tight, take wedge out of the car, and be even worse with how tight the car is the next time you go out. Contact with Ty Dillon. Doesn't help there's no rear view mirror. That's not realistic either. Harvick's pitting this time. Actually, you know what? We're going to stay out. There's quite a few cars that are pitting. I'm going to try to make my lap up this way. Hope we get a caution again in the middle of green flag stops. I didn't realize they were going to pit this early. If I would have known that, I probably would have pitted like 10 laps into the stage. Alright, so new strategy. I know I'm super slow right now. And this is not going to help us get on the lead lap to the end of the stage. We're hoping for a caution is what we're hoping for. It's weird that my left side tires are wearing out, my right sides aren't. A lot of cars stopping on the back straightaway. I think that's why there was a caution in the middle of green flag stops earlier, so we may get one some point in time here. Can Kevin Harvick going to actually run this out? Maybe we go one stop and everybody else goes two. I mean, we could do that. They're definitely going to have to pit again. If we make it... I don't even know if we can make it, though. That's on one stop. It'll be close. That is ridiculous. I'm surprised I didn't blow a tire. That was a terrible hit into the wall. Kind of an awkward angle when we hit it. It just went from, like, turning perfectly fine to not turning at all in the blink of an eye. A couple other cars leaving pit road. If we don't get a caution in the middle of green flag stops this time, this is not going to be good for Kevin Harvick. Brendan Gaughan at a slow pace going into turn 3. Checking up for him from behind. Now I'm not going to wreck anybody. No, we need everybody to cycle through. And if the leaders cross the start-finish line before I do, if a caution comes out, we're going to lose another lap. So that's why we need to... I mean, a perfect timing yellow would be after everybody pits. Everybody on the lead lap pits. And then I cross the start-finish line. I'm like in maybe turns 1 and 2 when the caution comes out. Otherwise, we're still going to be a lap down. Look at... I'm not even on the gas! I'm not on the gas. It's like my analog stick is stuck to the right. What the hell?
We'll be pitting in about 5 laps.
I'm going to the in-car cam because I need to see this for myself. I wasn't on the gas that entire time. It was just going straight to the wall. Oh, now it turns fine. You gotta be kidding me right now. I kid you not, I was pulling all the way left with the analog stick.
We got about 5 laps of fuel left. Car right.
Now it's turning fine.
All clear. We got about 5 laps of fuel left.
Nope, not that time. I'm out of the gas. It's just going straight to the wall. What the... This is stupid. It did the same thing. It's not like the steering wheel is going right. I'm turning to the left and it's still not going left. I don't know if it's my controller or the game. I know in this game it makes me believe it's the game, but at the same time I don't know. I don't think my controller's stuck because when I'm on the back straightaway, it's fine. That corner turned perfect. It's got to be the game because I'm not touching the analog stick and I'm staying in a straight line on the straightaway. So it is the game. That's just pulling me so far to the right. At random. It's literally at random. I pushed hard all the way that last lap car never got tight. Felt perfectly fine. And now it's going straight right again. I was on the brakes rather than out of the gas to keep it off the wall. We were at 133 miles an hour to get the car to turn at Michigan. A track where you're probably going like 160, 170, and the 160s, 170s mid-corner. I was going 133. I mean, we'll be making a wedge adjustment again when we make it onto pit road, but I don't trust that it's going to be any better than what it was before. Justin Haley leads currently, by the way. We have not had a caution in the middle of green flag stops like I would have hoped, so this is not working out well at all for Kevin Harvick. This is just a miserably frustrating race. I only had to drop to 150 that time. See what I mean? Like, sometimes it just hooks, and sometimes it doesn't. We're going to have to pit this time for fuel. 4 tires and fuel for Kevin Harvick. It's like, we better turn this time because I need to pit. .55 miles per hour is pit road speed limit. Harvick trying to get down to pit road speed and easily does by the time he gets to the commitment line. 4 tires and fuel for Harvick. No adjustments here. Or sorry, we're making an adjustment. We're taking 2 more rounds of wedge out of the car. I already took 2 rounds out before and the car got even tighter. We'll see what it's going to do here. If it gets even tighter, then I'm going to start putting wedge into the car to try to loosen it up, which sounds weird, but that's how broken this game is at Michigan. A lot of other cars on pit road right now. Harvick probably lost a lot of time staying out as long as he did. I don't know about the DLC's potential release dates, honestly. This is just more frustrating because this is gonna, I mean, between the road courses already being pretty much behind any sort of a shot to win on any road course. Not even win, but to get like a top 30 finish, it's impossible. Bubba Wallace blocking race leader Justin Haley. It's going to help us get a lap back there. I can feel the car being really tight already. I just came out of the pits. I wasn't even up to speed yet. I don't think anything was accomplished. Yeah, it's still tight. I mean, it's still tight. I mean, for instance, we're on fresher tires than the 47 and the 14 up there. They're still pulling us. Caution is out. Harvick couldn't make it much longer on fuel. We had to pit when we did, but now we get a yellow. And now we're probably 2 laps down. Maybe 3? No, well, we're only going to be 2 because I just crossed the start-finish line when the caution came out. So the scoring glitch didn't get me this time, but it was the green flag pit stop and then the caution which got me. We're going to pit. By pitting now, we might be able to make it on fuel to the end of the stage. 4 tires and fuel for Kevin Harvick this time. Caution is out for the 4th time in the race. And Kevin Harvick is now 2 laps down. Maybe we're 3. I'm thinking we should be 2 down. We should only be 1 lap down, but scoring glitch got us in stage 1. We're right back to about where we were running at least. Tells me there's a lot of other drivers 2 laps down. Green flag back in the air. Harvick's going to try to go the rest of the stage on fuel. Gonna need to. That's his hopes of making up another lap. Is that everybody else has to pit, although there were probably other cars that pitted under the caution with him, so I don't think everybody has to pit. Has quite a few cars getting up to speed as he moves to 22nd. We've got to get a lap back for the end of this stage. On speed, the car is going to be extremely tight at the end of the run. I don't think it's going to be possible, but you just never know. We got to get there if at all possible. And if there's cars on older tires in front of Harvick, this is going to help him out a ton, which it does seem like there's cars on older tires at the front of the pack right now, which is helping Harvick out. He's up to 21st. We can get a lap back here, and if they have to pit before the end of the stage, we might get both laps back. Never say die. That caution hurt us, but at the same time, it might help us in the long run if we get a long run. Leonard Austin Dillon hopping back in line. I think we're the first car 2 laps down right now in 21st. We need to pull out our inner Kevin Harvick and just carry SHR in our back in this race. Harvick trying to do just that. Couple of upset drivers in the top 5 of Eric Jones and Brad Keselowski without wins, and even Larson without a win. Stenhouse in 6th without a win. Byron in 7th. He won stage 1. Harvick gets by Larson. Josh Bilicki is in 2nd place right now for Spire Motorsports after starting in the top 10. He fell back early, but he is making up some ground. I don't know about those cars up there, though. They might be on equal tires with Harvick. I don't know that he's going to catch them. He's going to try. He needs to. He's got a little less than 30 laps to try to catch him. Car is so tight. I just... We can't... I can't push as hard as I want to. It's just too tight. We're losing time to those top 4. Slowing up way too much in the corners. I mean, we're gaining time when the car hooks up well, because we gained time through 1 and 2 there. And we pulled away from the cars behind us in that pack as well. I'm trying to do what I can to lift just a little bit earlier. That only does so much. The fact that we have fresh tires too, and it's just shoving. We've taken 4 rounds of wedge out of the car from the start of the race. Just looking at that interval with Keselowski, I mean, some corners were catching him and some corners were not. I'm really hoping they have to pit for the end of the stage. This car going straight up the hill, but at least he'll keep it off the wall without having to lift. But he also lost a couple tenths that corner alone. 3.4 back at the line. I want to see how far back behind Keselowski I'm going to be at the start-finish line the next time by. They get side by side. I mean, that slows these guys down quite a bit. We gain 0.3 of a second in turns 1 and 2, but I think we just lose so much at 3 and 4. The car's so much worse on this end of the track. 3.4. We were even with Keselowski that last lap. Faster in 1 and 2, but way slower in 3 and 4. It looks like Bilicki and Keselowski starting to lose Jones, who just got by Bilicki that last lap for second, and then whoever the race leader is. So I'm just praying it's not Christopher Bell. No clue who's leading. No clue where Bell's at. R6, Matthew Dorter Bruno, thanks for tuning in. Happy Friday. Indeed. I mean, we were 27th at the end of stage 1. At least position-wise, we're looking to increase. We're definitely going to see some cars pit before the end of the stage. I just don't know how many of them on the lead lap are going to end up having to pit. I'm hoping everybody pits, so we can at least get 1 lap back. We go into the final stage 1 lap down, which is where we started stage 2. We can come from a couple laps down at Atlanta to finish second. You just never know. The car in this... I mean, the car was tight at Atlanta, too, but not as tight as it is here today in Michigan for Kevin Harvick. Like in that corner right there. That was not good. And the sad part is, it's so tight now, and we have to go 25 more laps on these tires. It is only going to get worse. Keselowski is pulled ahead of us by about 0.7 of a second. If we get the time back in 1 and 2, just to give it up in 3 and 4, it doesn't help we don't have any drafting help either. I think we could have stayed with those guys if we had the drafting help. It's a 2-car breakaway right now, though. Keselowski and Bilicki just don't have the speed that Jones in the first place car do. They're already 2 seconds behind them. Kyle Busch is closing in on the 4 of Harvick. Bell's in 11th. Battling Busch for that final stage point. With a little over 20 to go yet in stage 2. Bilicki has just gotten passed by Keselowski for 3rd. We're almost halfway through this race. That's the sad part. We're not even halfway home yet. All the struggle, we still have half the race to go. I mean, that's a good thing and a bad thing. It's a bad thing because we might be putting around outside the top 20 for another 100 laps, but at the same time, it gives us some sort of hope. Maybe we could catch up. Bell to the inside of Busch for 11th. Austin Dillon in the battle as well, just outside the cutoff line by a couple points coming into the race. He's only 5 behind Busch, 2 behind Almirola. Almirola's -3. Busch and Bell giving each other a huge push in the tri-oval. I think the best thing for Harvick is if these guys get around him, he can try to draft from behind. The car is going to be even tighter in the dirty air, so I'm not sure exactly how that's going to work out. I think these guys closing in are on equal tires, considering how quickly they were able to close. Bell to the outside. Going to get around him cleanly, but only Bell. Busch and Dillon still in line behind Harvick yet. Harvick getting a little bit of drafting help behind Bell in the tri-oval. Yeah, that's the problem though. I'm even tighter behind other cars. I had to run the middle all the way through the corner that time. to dive it so deep into the corner. Hoping it's 6. I mean, look at how much we lose in 3 and 4. Just because of how much tighter my car is at this end of the track. It's how much more we're losing. One and 2, pulling away from the 18 and the 3 again. If we were just this good in turns 3 and 4, we'd be competent, but it's not quite there. Car gripped up well in 3 and 4 that time. If it does that like 17 more times, we'll make it to the end of the stage, but just don't trust it will. Bell up to 8th. I think there was a couple cars that just hit pit road. I really hope it was the top 2. It wasn't, though, because Keselowski and Bilicki are still in 3rd and 4th. But there were a couple guys inside the top 10 that pit. That's not good for Harvick, because Bell's going to be in stage point position again. I don't think Harvick's going to cycle ahead of those cars. Well, he'll get 1 lap back on him. It's only going to be good if everybody cycles through. Really have to hope we don't get a caution here before the end of the stage. Harvick shoving it into the wall as he shoved too much off the exit of turn 4. Bell to 6th now. First and second still have it pit. But Bell's picked up 4 positions in these last 2 laps, along with Kyle Busch and Austin Dillon. Busch and Dillon going to get around the outside of Kevin Harvick. Harvick in line behind. Caution! And we just lost another lap. Because the leaders were already ahead of us. And every time a caution comes out, I'm either just in front or just behind the start-finish line. Only one time I was in front of it, but I lost a lap because I short-pitted. And then the other 2 times a caution came out like that, we were just behind the start-finish line. Literally 2 to 3 more seconds, and we wouldn't have lost 2 of the 3 laps we've lost today with scoring glitches. Now we're 3 laps down. And we're definitely pitting again. I don't think everybody's going to pit here. We'll see some cars pit. Harvick's going to pit again. 4 tires and fuel. No adjustments. And Harvick is now 3 laps down. We've lost 2 laps in this stage alone because of scoring glitches. Nothing we can do about it. I mean, we were probably combined 5 seconds. Maybe even less than that. With both cautions to only being 1 lap down. It's that close. Green flag back in the air. And we are down to a little less than 10 laps to go in the stage, considering Harvick's 3 laps down. Needs to get his laps back and needs to go on these fresh tires. Got to get one of these laps back before the end of the stage. Maybe everybody else on the lead lap has to pit before the end of the stage. If that is the case, then Harvick maybe can get to 1 lap down. Had to clear Cody Ware off turn 4 so he can get the draft off Alex Bowman. He will. Bowman and Burton getting a good run in the trial as well, and the cars in front of them as these cars are up to speed. Big dive for Harvick in turns 1 and 2. The better of the 2 corners for him. Busch goes up near the wall. May have gotten into it, which stacked up Byron from behind. Byron back to 8th. Real good, kid. Real good. Thanks for tuning in. A lot of blocking going on into turns 3 and 4. Harvick's got enough speed. I think he's going to get 1 of his 3 laps back here. Bilicki loses a spot to Bell. Bell to 6th. I think there's only 3 cars on the lead lap because Bell is 1 lap down right now. The difference was Keselowski and Balicki. Harvick really tight in the dirty air in 1 and 2. Still closes with the tire advantage. Needs to get a lap back here. We don't know exactly how many laps they're going to have at the end of this stage. He's going to have at least 3 or 4 more after this one. And then any lap could really end it at this point. Eric Jones leads at Michigan. Justin Haley in second. Keselowski third. They're the only cars on the lead lap. There's a very good chance we're going to have a driver below the cutoff line winning and making the playoffs today at Michigan. With that being said, Harvick, slide job through 1 and 2. Gets everybody. Now he's 2 down, but needs to stay green to the end of the stage for him to actually get those laps back, or get that lap back. This was the lap he just lost. He'll pit again during the stage break, too. Needs to. Not sure exactly how many lap pressure tires Harvick has than Jones. We do have a few cars on pit road right now. Looks like Bubba Wallace was crashed on pit road too. Gotta stay green, because otherwise we're going to have a scoring glitch again, and we're going to be right back to 3 laps down. So, this has to stay green. Or we have to be on the other side of the start-finish line. We're up to 18th. We've gained a few positions. Fortunately, nowhere close to being in position to get any stage points, so it's going to be 0 stage points in both stages for Kevin Harvick combined today. Almirola is in 5th. A couple other cars on pit road still. We continue to stay green for now. Five or less laps to go in stage 2. Almirola, Bell, Byron, they've all gotten by the top 3, so I believe if that's the case, they're going to be 1 lap down. I wonder if that means the top 3 just pitted. Oh, I hope they did, because they were the only 3 on the lead lap. If they pitted, Harvick's only going to be 1 lap down to the end of the stage, as long as he stays in front of the 10, the 24, and the 20. Those guys should get to the lead. I think the top 3 just pitted with a few laps to go in the stage. Come on, stay green. Stay green. Come on, please. We can get 2 laps back in the final 5 laps of the stage. Almirola to the lead. He's 3. Oh, no. Harvick just got really tight. 1 and 2. He's out of the gas, and he's still going to get into the wall. All tires are up on the 4. The 10 is coming. That was a bad time to have that. I don't even know if it's a glitch. No, it's doing it again. Why is it doing this? We only have like 10 laps on our tires, if that. Oh, this is not a time for the car to be acting up right now. Well, Almirola just pitted too. Byron's closing in. He's only a second behind Harvick. Come on, turn car. We just got to pray now. Just got to pray the car turns. It turned that time. Jeez Louise. That last lap was 43 seconds. 4 seconds off the pace of how tight the car was all the way around the track, pretty much. Haley still leads. We're going to be 1 lap down in 13th, just outside of any position gets stage points here. Byron back to 6th. Car got really I clipped the apron that time, though. It's partially my fault. Here comes Byron. He's in 6th, though. He's not the leader. Haley is the next car behind us. That's a bit scary. He's like 6 or 7 seconds back, but he's on fresher tires and his car is handling 10 times better than ours is. We have to stay in front of the 31 and the 77 who are in 1st and 2nd. And Harvick will be a lap down. He's up to 11. We might get a stage point. I don't know who all has to pit yet. The car is super tight again through 3 and 4. Come on. Any lap could end the stage at this point. I'm really hoping it's the next one just to get this over with. But I don't want another Atlanta situation again where we're just hanging on for dear life to finish like 2 down at the end of the stage. That's the thing with Atlanta. I still came back to finish second, but I was still lapped down at the end of the race. Stage over. As soon as not Byron, but as soon as the leader crossed start-finish line there, stage came to an end. Justin Haley will win stage 2 at Michigan. Josh Bilicki second. Eric Jones third. Brad Keselowski fourth. All 4 of those drivers below the cutoff line. And then Byron, with a win, is in 5th. He had 16 stage points today. Eric Almirola 6. Bell finishes 7, so he outpoints us by 4. We're up to 11. Hopefully you guys didn't go away anywhere because, I mean, we're coming back from 3 laps down to 1 and 1 stage there. And now we can pit during the stage break. We'll have slightly fresher tires.
Are we passing under yellow?
Four tires and fuel. There we go. We got some excitement again. Sucks having to race this way, but we'll see. We've had 5 cautions in the race today. 80 laps in the final stage. Harvick is 1 down, so he'll have to go 81. We'll have to remember that for fuel purposes. He's got a couple lap pressure tires, but not by much. Green flag is in the air, and the final stage at Michigan is underway. Harvick, from 3 down, is up to 11th. There might be other cars in the top 10 that are lapped down that he may be able to actually pass for position here during this run.
2 on the outside. You're 3.
Harvick's been good on the restarts today. He's got that going for him. Another pretty good restart here as he's passed a few cars. He's going to be stuck on the bottom. But there are cars on the bottom he's able to draft with,
2 on the outside. You're 3.
which is allowing him to pull past the 23 still. Big run to the bottom. They checked up majorly. We had grip on the apron. Harvick is inside the top 10 for the first time in this race. He is up to 10th. What a miracle. This might be the biggest comeback in channel history if we win this thing. It would have been Atlanta if we came back to win that from 4 down, but we still finished a lap down despite finishing in 2nd. There are only 3 cars on the lead lap, I do believe. So I'm thinking we could actually drive up to 4th and still be a lap down. Harvick is a lot better in 1 and 2. And he's going to be close enough to be in the draft now behind this next pack of cars in front of him. Got a little help from Chastain, who might have pitted during the stage break because he seems really fast. Either that or he's just got a big run in the draft. Maybe a little bit of both. Chastain to the outside of the 4. Harvick will drop in line behind him. Couple cars side by side in front of the 1. It was a 16 and the 17. Harvick going to drop down. He gets a little help off the 17. He'll get him past the 1 car. He's better in 1 and 2 anyway.
Clear, 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 clear.
The problem is, no, he kind of forced himself clear of the 17. He's going to dive bomb on the 16 of Allmendinger. But the car just does not handle well in turns 3 and 4. See him washing way up the track. Ninth place Kyle Larson, just a few cars in front of Harvick right now. Harvick could just slide up in line off turn 2. They're just so jam-packed together. He will midway down the backstretch right in front of Austin Cindric in 14th, who has come from deep in the field. He started outside the top 30 today. Into turns 3 and 4. Harvick again to the bottom. Has to run the bottom because it gives him more clearance between the wall, plus a little bit of clean air because nobody goes all the way down there like he does. Got Stenhouse and Larson for position right in front of him. We're down to 75 laps to go in this race. Is there a chance Kevin Harvick could get back into this thing? He's going to get by Larson through 1 and 2. He's so good in turns 1 and 2, but so bad in 3 and 4. It's crazy. Larson, clear. Harvick, under Stenhouse. A couple other cars going to the bottom. This could help Harvick if he doesn't get back to the outside. One car on the bottom. It looked like Kyle Busch, but it looks like Harvick will get to the outside. The 2 has passed the 5 as well. Big run. Harvick underneath Stenhouse. Busch not for position. He is in 13th. He's another lap behind Harvick. Harvick sends it into 1 and 2. He might get by everybody here. He is up to 7th place. Byron is the first car that he has passed that is still on the lead lap. So there are 5 cars on the lead lap right now. Harvick and Bell not that far from each other. Now, Bell outscored Harvick by a lot in the stages today. But the comeback for Harvick may keep him in the regular season points lead going into what is my best track on this game, which is Richmond. So, I mean, here we go. We are up to 7th after being 3 down in this race. And we still have about 70 to go. A little more than that. Almirola passes Byron. Off turn 4. He might have enough speed to catch the 4 if he pitted during the stage break. I think some guys did, but not everybody. Not to mention, I think Harvick's catching the top 4. Some of them, like Balicki. Almirola's catching the 4, though, at the same time. So we're probably going to end up losing a spot. I'm more worried about getting a lap back right now. I'm worried about positions when we get later to the end of the race. One car in the pits. Harvick trying to break the draft from the 10 behind him. Not sure that he was close enough to get in the draft anyway. Harvick is definitely catching up to at least Balicki in 4th. Not sure if the same is going to be set for the top 3. There are 2... I mean, there's 3 cars in front of him, so I don't know. Two of them. Because Austin Dillon in 27th and then Kurt Busch 29th are right there. Harvick again, breaking the draft from the 10. Trying to buy himself a little bit more time. Pulls him in 1 and 2, but then off the exit of turn 4, all the way through the front stretch. 10 is definitely faster than the 4 on that end of the track. He's close enough now to try to maintain on the back straightaway off turn 2, even though Harvick's better in that corner. The car actually turned that time through 3 and 4. I barely used any brakes. Be sure to hit the like button, subscribe for more daily NASCAR content if you haven't already. Vital race for the playoffs and the regular season championship going on today at Michigan. Christopher Bell got stage points in stage 1 and stage 2. Harvick got 0. He came in with a 21-point lead. I'm not sure exactly how many points Bell had. I didn't tally all of the stage points in stage 1. So I apologize for that. I'll have to go back through at the end of the stream. But we know Harvick got outscored. I think it was single digits, but still got outscored. And now is trying to play catch up. He was 3 laps down at one point with about 10 laps to go in stage 2. Passed the leaders on fresher tires with a late caution that came out in the stage. Then they had to pit, so we got another lap back. So now he's only 1 lap down. The leaders will have to pit just before him again. So it's interesting because we've had a lot of cautions today. We've had, like I mentioned, 5 cautions. 6 actually when you count the stage breaks. Because I didn't count the stage 2 break yet. So 6 cautions in today's race. You'd have to believe we're going to see some cautions again. So it really almost takes short pitting out of the equation for Harvick specifically. It's almost too dangerous at this point. But if we don't get a caution, he stays out longer, he's going to lose more time. Knowing how tight the car is in the back half of the run. I mean, it's already tight at times in this run, and we're only 14 laps in. A third of the way through the fuel run. Harvick close enough behind Bilicki off turn 4 to try to draft off of him. Got a massive run heading towards turn 1. He's pulling the 10 just a little bit that time on the front stretch. Harvick clears Bilicki. Keselowski next car in front of him in 3rd. Now Almirola stuck behind the 77. Christopher Bell's a lap down as well in 6th. So he's still 1 spot ahead of Harvick as of right now, which is also crucial. Even if Harvick doesn't win, he really wants to beat the 20. They're on the same lap. And they're only a few seconds apart from each other. Almirola got by Bilicki. Harvick was breaking the draft down to the bottom. By the way, again, the only 5 cars on the lead lap. Byron's the only one with a win. The top 4 are all winless. And they're all below the cutoff line coming into the race. Josh Bilicki for Spire Motorsports. Brad Keselowski. Harvick's car was terrible that time through 3 and 4 as it pushed way up the track. He'll stay in front of the 10, but he lost some time on the 6 after picking up quite a bit before that. Breaks the draft down to the bottom with the 10 behind him still. So if Harvick can't make a major comeback in this one, there's a good chance we're going to have some drivers competing to get their way into the playoffs, and maybe the last shot for them to do so. Because outside of Eric Jones, I don't think any of those guys even have a shot to point their way in. And Almirola having a great day in 8th, has scored stage points in the first... Well, actually, it was 11th at the end of stage 1, but stage 2 he scored quite a few stage points in the closing laps. Made some passes to get inside the top 10. He's still in the top 10, so he's looking for a good point stay. But he was the first driver below the cutoff line. That's going to shift it back even more. Kyle Busch, who got stage points earlier today, he's only a few spots behind him at 12th. There's a difference of 3 points between them coming into the day. So I think the 10, as of right now, will surpass the 18 to get in, but then get bumped out by whoever wins, assuming it's one of the top 4. Not to mention, we still have Daytona left in the regular season finale. Almirola, if he would have went to the bottom, he would have had a major run to get by Harvick. Harvick dropped down just early enough. Starting to get challenged for position for the first time in a while since the restart. Although it's only been 19 laps, feels like it's been more. Wow. Harvick lifted in the middle of the corner. It was fine all the way till he got about 2/3 of the way through the corner. Then it got majorly tight on him at the last second. He just gained another spot. I think one of the top 4 cars just pitted. It was either Eric Jones or Justin Haley that just hit pit road. I think we have to stay out hoping for a caution. Assuming that each of the top 4 are all going to pit here within these next few laps. Keselowski stays out that time. Almirola going to get by the 4 on the outside. Harvick will get in the draft behind him. Licky stays out of the pits off turn 4. Harvick back to 7th again. He'll stay behind the 10 in the draft on the back straightaway, but I think by the time they get off turn 4, he's probably going to lose Almirola finally. Come on, car. Gosh, please. It's got to start turning. I mean, we're still a third of a fuel run out yet. I just don't trust short pitting. Car's getting really bad, though. Just 22 laps. They have not pit yet. Now everybody on the lead lap definitely gonna have to pit twice in the stage. Maybe there's a chance Harvick can make it on 1. I don't think he can go 40 laps on fuel, but if he does make it on 1, I mean, that's one way he can get a lap back. Right rear and the left front are wearing out. That's such a weird combination. Where the left rear and the right front are fine. I almost wonder if I should start downshifting when I have to back it below 140 miles an hour in 3 and 4, which I had to in the last run. I didn't try it. Yeah, I'm definitely going to start doing that. That'll help a little bit. Not a lot, but better than not doing it at all. Get the straightaway speed back up just a little bit more again. Oh, yeah. Wish I would have been doing that earlier. It's going to be hard to try to manage the tightness and the shifting, though. I'll do what I can. Still a little over a quarter tank of gas left for Kevin Harvick. 27 laps into the run. Harvick's car stuck really well through 1 and 2 that time with the downshift. He actually closed in on the 18 and the 2 just in front of him. Allows him to stay in the draft for an extra straightaway, which is going to help save a little bit more fuel. He might have to start doing that more and more. I think downshifting's kind of helping the car stick a little bit, too, in the corners. Can't believe it took me till like 3/4 of the way through the race to start downshifting. My car just gets ridiculously tight later in the run. That would have helped me out so much. Now we know. Better late than never, I guess. Might even have a chance to get back by Cindric again. Nope, not quite through 3 and 4. I think in 1 and 2 we're going to have a shot to get by him. Now shifting's going to burn a little more fuel though. But the handling's so much better when I do that. Byron, next car in line right behind Harvick. Harvick a little tighter in the dirty air that time through 1 and 2. Still stays in front of Byron at least. Maybe into the wall, but Cinder got in the wall too. Byron around the outside. I don't think he's quite going to catch Bell for second in the regular season standings today, but he's going to close in on both the 20 and the 4 if he has a top 10 finish, because he outscored both of them by quite a bit. Scored 16 stage points today. Harvick really tight, even in 4th gear in turns 1 and 2 there. No chance to keep it off the wall. Remember, Harvick started last in this race today, too. Fortunately, getting into the wall, he's got no drafting help anymore from the 24, the 18, and the 2. So the idea, take this run as far as we can. That was not a good corner for the race car. Not for myself. I mean, I'm not blaming myself at all for the car sliding up the track that badly. In the middle of the corner and being that tight. I'm backing it off as far as I possibly can. Sometimes it sticks and sometimes it doesn't. Byron pitted. He might have, because we're up to 8th again. He was on the lead lap. Balicki hasn't pit yet. We definitely have some cars on pit road. This is the moment of truth. Harvick is going to need a caution. Once everybody on the lead lap, which is the top 5, once they pit, Byron's back to 6. So yeah, he definitely pitted already. I think he's back on the racetrack, though. Harvick to 7th again. So for him to get back on the lead lap, we're going to have all the leaders, lead lap cars specifically, pit. Eric Jones still the leader, so he hasn't pit yet. Once he pits, we need to be on the other side of the start-finish line. And have a caution. We cannot be behind the start-finish line when a caution comes out if we're going to want a shot to get a win in today's race. A little less than 50 to go. Harvick should be able to go a few more laps on. Fuel caution is out. He crossed the start-finish line. He might be back on the lead lap. It was tough to tell if they all pitted, though. I need to see who was just in front of me. We needed that. I don't know who was right in front of me when the caution came out. There were a couple cars coming out of the pits. I think they were on the lead lap. I don't know if they all pitted, though. That's the only thing. Balicki was one of the cars coming out of the pits. He was on the lead lap. Byron pitted. He was on the lead lap. Jones was still leading. I think Haley pitted already. So we don't know if Keselowski or Jones pitted. So now we can pit during the caution. It's still a one-stopper to the end, by the way, by pitting now. But we need to because we're pretty low on fuel. So we're either back on the lead lap or we're still one lap down. No adjustment changes here. 4 tires and fuel. You never know. That's the first caution of the final stage. Took almost half the stage for it to happen. I don't think this is the final caution of the race. Everybody who didn't pit prior to the yellow, pitting now. Everybody will still have to pit one more time. Harvick will restart at 7th. Maybe on the lead lap, maybe a lap down. Maybe we'll find out. Green flag back in the air at Michigan. We are down to 41 laps to go in this race. The Firekeepers Casino 400, excuse me. Harvick's been good on the restarts today, trying to take advantage. 2 and 3 wide, nearly in front of him off the exit of turn 2. They're stacking up. Harvick to the outside quickly. Bell's still lapped down in 8th. Either lap down or 2 down, but he is in 8th. Harvick down to the bottom. Didn't pass everybody there, but he passed a few cars. Not a bad restart whatsoever by Harvick. Cody Ware chops off the 20 of Bell. Harvick down to the inside of him. Big dive by Harvick through 1 and 2. He's up to 6th. Balicki in 5th in front of him. I know I could get up to 3rd. We might be a lap down still, but only the top 2 would be on the lead lap. At the most. There are 2 cars side by side, likely battling for the lead in turns 3 and 4. We'll have Gregson in front of us on the front stretch here. I'm going to be good in 1 and 2. I don't know if I'm going to be close enough to catch the 4-car group in front of Gregson.
Clear.
Harvick gets by the 62 easily. I don't think I'll win a race with a worse race car than today if we do win. No, I'm not shifting right now. Just later in the run when my car gets super tight. I'm not running slow enough in the middle of the corner to shift. About 166. When I was down in the 140s, though, I was shifting. Gotta get to that 4-car group somehow, some way. And we don't know for sure if Harvick is on the lead lap or not. But he may be. On the throttle for a long time. Into 1 and 2. That was probably the best his car has gripped up in that corner. I don't think he went below 170 miles an hour. If I could do that again next lap, we might be in the draft. This might be the fastest lap of the race for Hart. Oh, no, he got a little tight. He clipped the apron and then the car got tight, so he had to lift off turn 4. Otherwise, it was a perfect lap. 9/10 of a second behind that next car, which is Chase Briscoe. We're so close. Top 2 pulling away. Just gotta hope that they're on the lead lap. Thanks for tuning in, by the way, again, Larry. Feel like the car is a little too tight for my liking this early in the run. We do have a car on pit road. Not sure if that's going to be for position or not. Pit now, he should be able to make it on fuel to the end. Balicki in the third place car right in front of him. Pulling away from Byron and Briscoe a bit. Harvick's still not exactly close to the next two cars in front of him. Only went down to 165 there. Went all the way to the apron. All four tires that time through 3 and 4. The closest he's been to these two cars in front of him off the exit of turn 2, 0.7 of a second. Way too risky to try short paint. It is, isn't it? Really good through 3 and 4 that time. Harvick, oh, he's so close to the draft. I don't think he's quite there. They're pulling him a little bit. 2 cars versus 1. Harvick should get him in 1 and 2, though. Long as the car sticks in 1 and 2, he is going to get to Briscoe and Byron. He might even pass him. He was far back, but he is going to clear Byron, and that's for 5th. That was delayed. I got scared for a second. I was like, wait, we should be on the same lap as him at least. We are. Harvick is inside the top 5 for the first time tonight after being 3 laps down with about, what, 90 to go? Late in stage 2. Gonna break the draft, not gonna allow Byron to get any sort of help. I mean, Byron's got help from behind him, so I guess he's still gonna have a run on Harvick. Massive dive for Harvick through 1 and 2. Larson in 13th is the car right in front of Balicki. Larson got in the wall. It stacked up Balicki. Keselowski's in 3rd. I thought Haley pit already. So with Keselowski in 3rd, then that means Jones is either the only one on the lead lap, or we can get up to 2nd, being 1 lap down. The car got really tight through 1 and 2. That was not good. I feel like the car's getting way tighter way earlier in the run this time. Yeah, we'll definitely have to pit again for the end. I'm not going to be able to make it. 41 laps on fuel. Oh my gosh, car, come on! Jesus. I know I was down on the apron, but sometimes it grips up and you have to just kind of feel the car out really, corner by corner. Why is it so tight this early in the run this time? I have 11 laps on my tires. It took like 20 before this started happening the last time. Thankful not to blow a tire at least. Okay, car didn't get super tight that time. I'm still... I mean, as bad as it was off turn 2, I probably could have downshifted. But I only went down to 165 in turns 3 and 4 that time, so can't downshift yet. Haley's in 2nd, so yeah, either Eric Jones is the only car in the lead lap. Screw it, I'm downshifting. I don't know if that helped or hurt, but tough to tell. It might help a little more in 3 and 4 than 1 and 2. Got a car on pit road. It was Denny Hamlin. You know? I think we're going to short pit. Because I'm just trying to think of how many positions are we going to actually lose at the very worst if we get trapped another lap down. Like, maybe 3 or 4 spots. We'll still get a top 10. Why not? If we're only going to lose that many spots, I think I'm going to short pit. Because the win with the playoff points and the regular season championship points over Bell, we're a lap ahead of Bell. So worst case scenario, we get put back on the same lap as him. I think we have to short pit. Because the car is really tight way earlier in the run this time too. I was not downshifting this early in the run. It's helping because I'm maintaining with the 77 and the 5 now. When I was losing ground. And I'm pulling away from Briscoe. Byron just pitted, by the way, I think. Because he isn't with the 14 anymore. So Byron's already pit. He was on the same lap as me, so he's going to cycle ahead of me, you would think. Man, I don't know, though. We have cars pitting right now, too. Larson's in. That's the risky thing, is we have cars pitting. I'm so conflicted. There's Byron. I am so conflicted right now. It's like, how long is too long to stay out? About a third of a tank of gas left. Remember Balicki and Harvick on the same lap right now, and Harvick's catching Balicki. He was 2.7 seconds back. Now he's about 1.9 seconds back at the line. Harvick couldn't push that hard through 1 and 2. Felt the car getting tight, so he's way out of the gas a lot longer to try to keep the car on the bottom as long as he could. There's Larson coming out of the pits. Harvick gonna blow around him at full speed. And we've had 6 cautions today. 7. With the caution early in this stage. Only had 1 caution in the final stage though. Caution, but we were on the wrong side of the start-finish line. Oh my gosh. Harvick's gonna pit. We're a lap down. If we were a lap down before, we're 2 down now. And if we were on the lead lap, we're 1 lap down because we were not on the right side of the start-finish line. We're gonna be the first car lap down in 5th, I do believe. I just gotta hope they stay out, but I don't think they are. I think they're pitting. God bless America. I stayed out. I'm glad I didn't pit because I would have lost another lap, but hey, that ended up not mattering. Caution is out way earlier than I thought it was going to be. I think everybody who didn't pit yet is on pit road, so Harvick's going to be a lap down. Going to be in 4th. Green flag back in the air. Keselowski behind him, so I guess we're the first car lap down in 4th place, not 5th. So Balicki didn't get to the line yet either. He was close, but not quite there. So, I mean, Harvick needs to get a lap back. Why is the car so tight getting up to speed? No, why? We just pitted. We weren't even up to speed and we just pitted. The car should not be that tight. It was ridiculous. We just lost so much ground there. Why am I downshifting already? Why is the car this tight? Pissing me off. We just pitted. It feels just like it did before I pitted. Busher's in 9th. Gets right back around Harvick for 3 and 4. He's so slow at that end of the track. In the draft, though, he's going to have a big run into turns 1 and 2. Pulling out of line really early. Past Keselowski, I'm going to assume that the top 2 are not in the pack of cars up here.
Got one right. Clear all right.
Yeah, we took tires, too. Scared to move up because I was scared if I moved up I was going to get in the wall. Well, consider we're a lap down. Maybe 2, I don't know. We're still in the top 5.
Rewind. 2 outside. Stay left. Still there.
Top 2 have pulled away.
Clear.
Harvick's not going to get his lap back. Yeah, I kid you not, when the car gets super tight like that, like we've had today, it literally feels like the car is turning to the right. Like, not just drifting up the track, it feels like it's like the analog stick is broken and it turns to the right. And I know it's not the case because every time I'm down the back straightaway and I'm pulling on the analog stick and it's staying straight. So that's how I know it's not my controller, it is the game. Making me ridiculously tight for whatever reason. Harvick just cleared Kyle Busch. Just saw a car pit off the exit of turn 4. Maybe we get lucky and get another caution here before the end. Well, we're only going to get lucky with a yellow if we're on the right side of the start-finish line. And Keselowski's behind us, so that could put Keselowski a lap down if we get a right timing caution, so we could finish as high as 3rd. But consider we're behind the top 2 still. We're not going to win the race. Yeah, Hamlin 34th after qualifying on the pole. That's a tough break for him. And there's a good chance we're going to get a new winner. We have about 10 laps to go. Yeah, Kurt Busch also not having a good day. Bowman not having a good day outside the top 20. All the guys I needed to run well, not running well. Bowman's actually 18th, rather, but still, not great. And somehow, some way, Harvick is going to beat Bell. There's more cars on pit road. Definitely lap cars now. More cars on pit road. Leader's in. Hold the phone here. I just see Eric Jones and Justin Haley pit. I mean, we're not going to get back to them. I don't think. I mean, we'd be on the same lap if they pitted, though. If they pitted, we're back on the lead lap if we get a caution. We've had quite a few overtime finishes this season, too. I don't know if they pitted or not. Kind of shocked at how many cars have pitted after the caution. It seemed like there were quite a few cars that pitted during the yellow. I didn't think we were going to see this. Harvick's still in fourth. I don't know if the 43... I don't know if the 43 and the 31 pitted. I saw them behind us on the leaderboard, though, when we crossed the start-finish line, or at least on the front stretch, which made me believe that they may be pitted. Which means that Brad Keselowski, I believe, is leading this race, if that is the case. We'll know if they... Oh my gosh, car. Come on. Make the corner. We still have barely over 10 laps on our tires. We would need a caution right after we cross the start-finish line, though. We're pretty close after it to actually maintain on the lead lap, because just because we're on the lead lap now... If they pit it again. Just because we're on the lead line now, we got a car stopping up here going into 3. Cody wearing the 51. Might not catch him, though. Never mind, we will catch him. He was so far ahead of us and we still caught him. Six to go. Three laps down to fourth. From 4 laps down at Atlanta to second. Those 2 races could have saved Kevin Harvick's regular season championship. We still might lose points to Bell because he outscored us by a lot in the stages. We're going to outscore him in the actual race results. It's going to weaken the blow. Byron's going to gain quite a bit as well. He'll close the gap. I think he'll still be in third. But we're going to get by Harvick. Harvick going to get a little draft off of him. Austin Dillon closing in here. Not for position, though. Suarez and Kyle Busch also closing in, but they're also not for position. We're battling each other for 15th. Stenhouse looking like he may get another top 10. Yeah, it's because we were lapped down when we started the stage, so that's why the lap counter's a lap off right now. Between where it says stage 3 and then like the actual lap counter on the very top right. Haven't been passed on the bottom by too many cars today. Not cleanly, at least. Keselowski's still in third, by the way, so I don't think the leaders pitted like I thought they did. So it's either Eric Jones or Justin Haley who's going to win. Haley trying to get his first career win. But both drivers below the cutoff line. White flag is in the air, 1 lap to go. I believe Eric Jones is going to end up winning, though. If I had to pick between the two of them. Haley won stage 2, but I think Jones could be a lap ahead of him, which would mean that we'd be 2 laps down. This is our final lap of the race. Checkered flag will be waving for the leaders behind us. Harvick will not be able to lose another position on this final lap. It looks like we're going to finish 1 lap down. That scoring glitch on that last caution with a little less than 30 to go was what cost us. And we didn't short pit that time either. It was just unfortunate. That was the difference. Top 3 going to finish on the lead lap. Harvick, first car lap down in 4th. That's the difference between us racing for the win and being a lap down. Unbelievable. We put up a fight, though. 4th place. What a comeback for Kevin Harvick. From 3 down to finish 4th. He was 27th at the end of stage 1. I guess Keselowski was still a lap down. Eric Jones actually didn't win. Justin Haley will get his first career win at Michigan. And Justin Haley will be the 9th different winner this year. He is going to be in the playoffs. Eric Jones, 2nd. Keselowski, 3rd. Harvick, 4th. Almirola, 5th. Malicki, 6th. He had a great day. William Byron, 7th. Stenhouse, 8th. Chastain, 9th. Buescher, 17, in the 17 car, finishes 10th. So both RFK cars get top 10s. Keselowski was on the lead lap. Never mind. Okay, so yeah, top 3 in the lead lap. But Bell didn't even get a top 10 today despite stage points in the first 2 stages. Ends up 12th. It's good for us. Not a good day for Ryan Blaney. Oh, man, we had a lot of DNFs. I didn't even realize that. Kaz Gralla, Garrett Smithley, Ryan Blaney, Corey LaJoie, Martin Truex Jr., Todd Gillen, Denny Hamlin, Tyler Reddick, Michael McDowell, Chase Elliott, Joey Logano, all DNF. That was all the way back in stage 1 they DNF'd. And then Kurt Busch DNF'd late, finishing 29th, 16 laps down. So we had 12 cars that failed to finish the race today. Only 28 of them actually made it to the checkered flag. Oh, yeah, you're right. 2nd career win. My bad. I kind of forgot about that. 2019, he won rain-shortened Daytona race. You're correct. Okay, so 2nd career win for Justin Haley. First one where he actually gets the checkered flag, though, under green. That's a big win. And he's in the playoffs with this one. He was an Xfinity Series regular when he won a couple years ago. Yeah, honestly, I'll take it. I'm not sure exactly how many points we're going to be back because I don't know exactly how many stage points Christopher Bell got. I think we still lost points. Well, I don't know because we beat him by 8 in the race results. So maybe we net gained a couple points. We either net gained a couple, lost a couple, or we ended up breaking even. So for the most part, although we didn't get a lot of stage points, it's a good finish, which saved our day. Actually, we didn't get any stage points, so it's a good thing we got a good finish. Complete opposite of what we would have on a road course where we'd have to rely solely on stage points. That wasn't the case tonight. I still can't believe that many cars DNF'd. I didn't realize that many guys were out, especially that early. I felt like we had the full field on the restarts, but I guess not. 45 laps in the first stage, so a lot of those guys DNF at the end of stage 1. So that is going to end today's stream. Be sure to hit the like button, subscribe for more daily NASCAR content as usual, and I will see you guys tomorrow night on the channel. 7 p.m. Eastern Standard start time tomorrow. We'll be racing NASCAR 06. It'll be a Truck Series race at Phoenix on our custom schedule season. We have a 5-point lead in the standings with just 7 races to go there on our season-long points format as well. So yeah, 7 races left. Actually, 8 races to go, but we're only up by 5 points over Chase Montgomery. We were down by 10, and then we outpointed it by 15. Now we're up by 5. And we're going short track race at 150 laps, 150 miles tomorrow night at Phoenix. See you guys then. Thanks for watching. NASCAR 22 will return to the channel again on Monday. And we'll have the last 3 regular season races Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday next week for NASCAR 22. So we'll find out if we win the regular season championship in about 6 days' time. See you guys then. Thanks for watching. Have a good rest of your Friday night.